So you keep getting articles like this where it says that there is a catastrophic crash of the gaming industry, and no one wants to talk about the elephant in the room. No one understands why this is. It's like all of a sudden it's so bizarre. We just don't understand. We don't know why it's taking place. Let's ask John Romero. Maybe he knows. There was another article. It's like, oh my God, like the crash, the layoffs, it's targeting mostly women. All of a sudden, all of these corporations have found their misogyny. Like they have deep misogynistic roots. And all of a sudden, they're like targeting the female employee. No one wants to like address the actual issue. And to be honest, like there's more than one. They usually try to blame it on COVID. But let me tell you a secret. During COVID, first of all, most people didn't just buy video games like crazy. Despite the fact that they were staying home, a lot of people were holding their cash really close because they lost their jobs and they were worried about the future. And the ones that spent their money, they probably spent it on an iPhone or something. But the companies that did notice growth during COVID, they outsourced, okay? Like, I keep seeing a lot of Cope and saying, oh my God, like all these companies, they noticed growth during COVID and now they're firing people. No, they were outsourcing, right? So like they had temporary contracts with third parties in order to increase the workload. And once those contracts were gone, those people left. They weren't even part of the company. These layoffs are actually part of the industry. They're part of the company. It's got nothing to do with COVID. No, there's a lot of issues. I would say that the most important one is the fact that they stopped treating games like art, and instead they're treating it like a product. Like before, when you had John Romero, it was 4 guys that were friends. Well, actually, I think it was more than 4. There was just some guys that were friends, and they were like, hey, let's make a video game. Wouldn't it be cool if you could do this and this and that? And that's what happened, right? Nowadays, if you want to make a video game, they buy an IP, so it's something that's already made. They write a story, and then they give it to a gender master. Right, like a person that finished California University in gender studies. And they know jack shit about writing video games, but they're like, so how many homosexual employees do you have? That's not enough. You need to hire more. How many women do you have in your company? That's not enough. You need to hire more. It's like, well, what does this have to do with the video game? We're getting there. But first, fix your percentages. But like in order to fix our percentages, we have to fire some people. I don't care. You fire them and you fix your percentages. So after, you know, you fix the percentages, they're like, all right, let's read the story. How much airtime does the white guy have? Too much. Too much. You need to insert, like, why can't you race swap this character? But like this character was always like that. I don't get, you race swap him. And this is like a lot of the energy, a lot of the resources that are now being invested into making video games. Like, and they all have to be the same, right? Because like it's the same ideologies, the same gender studies majors that are influencing this. And this is why every single game is like a cookie cutter thing. Because like the percentages are important. The messages, right? Like, okay, so we now have Spider-Man. What is the current thing? LGBT issues. I want LGBT flags in the game. Have secondary missions with LGBT issues. It's like, okay, but like maybe in 5 years, the LGBT are going to be the issue of the day. Doesn't matter. We're making it for the modern audience. In the here, in the now, no future. And by the way, in order to pay for these people, like they're very expensive, right? And now the company is very bloated. So you need a lot of money, right? And the money goes into the production. I mean, the last Spider-Man cost around $350 million to make. That's insane. There is no justification for it, because when you play the game, it doesn't look like a $350 million game. And of course, you know, like when you have like all of these Stasi's, because the gender master doesn't just talk about video games. They're also concerned. It's like, so, what jokes did you say today? Did you say something offensive? Did you interact with a colleague of the opposite sex? Did you misgender them? Did you, right? Like, and now that's the office. So everyone just shuts the fuck up. People are like quiet. Just like, you don't speak, you don't get into trouble. So there's no creativity. And because there's no creativity, again, all the games look the same. Everything, like you don't have strategy games anymore. You don't have first-person shooters. You have the game. And the game is like an Assassin's Creed bullshit, you know? It's like almost all Ubisoft games are the same. It's like a third-person type of game. You get to see your character from the back. He runs around the map. There's like some points of interest where you go like a tower and it reveals some of the map area. And once you can see the map area, you have like quests and secondary quests. And as you kill mobs, you level up and you put into some trees. That doesn't really matter because at the end of the game, you have all the points everywhere anyway. There's microtransactions. What game am I talking about? Oh yes, all of them, right? The only thing that's new and exciting comes from the indie scene. And in the indie scene, maybe you get something like Hades or Cult of the Lamb, and many other great games that the press never talks about because the press is, at this point, just an extension of the PR marketing team from AAA. And what I find interesting is that back in the day, you would actually have like AAA games finding an indie game that's popular, and they would try to make a video game based on that, right? Now they don't even do that anymore. Like, I was surprised that no AAA tried to replicate a Hades. I mean, Hades doesn't look like it's very expensive to make. It doesn't look like it takes a lot of people to make. Helltaker? I mean, Helltaker, holy shit, that game is free and it has like millions of fans. No AAA wants to touch it. Obviously, like, not necessarily like buy the IP from the guy, but like, you notice that there is money to be made there. You look at Nikke and all the phone games and the Genshin Impacts that are making hundreds of millions of dollars. And AAA just refuses, like flat out refuses. Why? Because the Gender Master. The Gender Master goes, well, you can't have like cute women in the game. You can't have anything cute. Like all the women have to look like they're being beaten with an ugly stick. I mean, just look at Mortal Kombat and see, compare it to Blaze Blue or compare it to Grand Blue or any other fighting game that came out recently. Like their female characters are atrocious. They're not women, they're dudes. Dudes. And then they're shocked. It's like, oh, no one wants to buy it. Let's give sass to the customer on Twitter. Let's insult the customers on Twitter. And now you have articles after articles saying how catastrophic layoffs are happening and how it's affecting women. And it's like, well, they should have thought of that before they complain. You know, like all these activists, they joined the companies and they acted like these companies are eternal or as if the companies are the ones printing money. Like, for no second did they realize, hold on a little bit, like, we're actually getting paid by the customer. I mean, sure, you know, we work at a multi-million-dollar organization, but at the end of the day, it still needs to sell the product. And I understand, like this is hilarious. I spoke with a guy who works at Ubisoft, and they told me that right now the feminists within the companies are starting to argue, because, again, like, women are getting fired, and they're like, maybe we can't fight against the male gaze, because at the end of the day, the male gaze is eternal, and in the mind of a man, even a fishing magazine can be arousing. And it's like, yeah, sure. So basically, like, they're saying, well, maybe we should actually look at what's selling, and maybe we should try a little bit. Just a little. I mean, Nier does sell, Bayonetta does sell. Maybe we should. I don't know if they're going to. At this point, like sex appeal by itself isn't going to sell, but it would make a difference. Whether it's significant or not, I don't know. But again, it can't hurt. You may as well try. Will they? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.